Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Road to Riyadh, the launch of Entrepreneurship World Cup in St. Lucia. My name is Michelle Samuel, and I am your host for this afternoon's session. Thank you so much for joining us. We are glad to have you. Now, today we are going to be talking to two individuals about EWC. But before I bring them on, I would just like to share with you what we are celebrating this week. As you know, or if you do not know, from the 13th to the 19th of November this year, Global Entrepreneurship Week is being celebrated around the globe. It is a massive campaign to celebrate and empower entrepreneurs in every country and community around the world, especially those individuals who face structural barriers or may have never considered the idea of launching their own startup. Each November, over 10 million people take part in tens of thousands of activities, competitions, and events that inspire them to act and provide them with knowledge, experience, and connections they need to succeed. The closing of so many businesses and the losses of jobs brought on by COVID has been a wake-up call for a lot of us. 1 year later, nations and countries in different regions are rallying to reboot our economies for the better, more sustainable and equitable post-pandemic world. Meanwhile, they're also rethinking approaches to build back stronger and regenerate growth. Now, of course, GEW reaches beyond high-tech hubs like Silicon Valley. Now envisioning one entrepreneurial ecosystem open to all, including smaller cities and developing states such as St. Lucia and in the wider Caribbean. Now, national campaigns in over 180 countries are driven by local event organizers such as SLUDTERA to showcase and to put on a platform and to celebrate the very persons who make things happen. In these gatherings, entrepreneurs, whether they are young, whether they are old, whether they are female, male, it doesn't matter. We are celebrating all of you. And today we are going to be launching a competition in St. Lucia that really allows anyone, anywhere in St. Lucia, and this we're talking nationally, anyone and anywhere in St. Lucia to participate once you meet the basic criteria. So this entire week, we have been looking at various events online and face-to-face. And SLUDTERA has been hosting a number of events just to celebrate our startups. And these are startups that have been either unseen, unheard of, and are now getting a voice. These are startups who have been battling it out, trying to get assistance, trying to get access to resources, and are able to now do so because they are being connected in one way or another. Global Entrepreneurship Week is about celebrating ourselves. It's about celebrating each other. And we join that celebration with various events, such as Secondary School Startup Day, which took place this morning at the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. These students came out to showcase their solution to the challenges that their principal put to them. 2 teams of students in Form 3 and Form 4, ranging in the ages of 13 to 14 years of age, came up with brilliant solutions to the problems that their principal posed to them. And they presented these solutions this morning. And I'm so very excited about it because one of these teams will now be rewarded with a wonderful incentive. And this is the incentive: access to EWC. even at their young age, because there is potential for growth. These are the types of situations and scenarios. These are the types of things that really drive persons such as myself to push forward, because we have to empower our people. And we are celebrating each other every single day this week. So when you think of entrepreneurship, I'm not just talking about the person who owns a business or store in the city or in the town. I'm also talking about that person who grows food in the backyard or in the garden and sells produce for you to eat. That's an entrepreneur. I'm talking about the person who sees things in their head and then maps it out and then brings it to life, and then actually breathes life into it through their time, effort, and money, and makes something of it, and it benefits other people and they generate income. That's an entrepreneur. And this is the unconventional aspect of it. You write what's in your head, you put it on paper, you send it out, it's published, it's put out there, and people are buying it and they're reading it, and you're getting feedback and you're making an income. That's an entrepreneur. And they're taking that you wrote and put it out on the big screen, making big money in movies. That's an entrepreneur. Any idea that you have, that you can bring it to fruition through the help of resources, mentors, or persons coming up behind you, or persons coming up in front of you, or persons coming up alongside you. Once you have an ecosystem that's willing to support you, and you're willing to push forward and put what you have out there to benefit others, and then you generate an income from that, you are an entrepreneur. Now, I know you've been hearing me say generating an income. There are times you may not generate an income. It doesn't mean that you're not an entrepreneur. It means that you're a change maker. You are creating solutions to the problems that we face every day. And people are being impacted. People's lives are being changed because of what you do and how you do it. Even if you may not financially benefit from it, you are changing lives. You are a social entrepreneur. You're a social change maker. If your passion is working with groups of people, bringing them together and giving them something that pushes them onward to make a difference in their various communities, you are a change maker. You are an entrepreneur. And this is what we're celebrating. This is what we are giving wings to during Global Entrepreneurship Week. And we have thankfully partnered with the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, who is the GEW host here in St. Lucia. We want to thank them for coming on board with us and for supporting us in the various events that we've been having throughout this week. You've been with us from Tuesday. We had digital tools for startups with Blue Media Marketing. We shared great tools and great information that actually benefit people and that's actually usable. Thank you, Shireen Joseph, for leading that event. We had alumni entrepreneur panel where we had phenomenal women, 4 phenomenal women from Barbados, from Bahamas, from Jamaica, and from St. Lucia, from the industries of agriculture, hair, skin, and feet, to food and beverage. They came on board and they spoke about the challenges, the difficulties, and also the successes in starting and running a business. We celebrated these 4 women. We heard what they had to say. They shared their journey and their stories, and they spoke on various levels that not only shared where they started and what brought them to where they are at now, but what's motivating them to keep pushing on into the future. We celebrated these women. We celebrated them. We had Startup Huddle St. Lucia, where 2 phenomenal women spoke about their businesses. One woman who has an unconventional job of being a technician, and she helps others as well through her business. She collaborates, she partners, she creates, and she's always willing to give back. And another unconventional idea of the human experience, reintegrating the human experience back into our processes where it has so coldly been voided. Automation, it has totally excluded the human experience, and she wants to bring that back. Because if we talk about customer service, if we talk about understanding what your customer wants and needs and feels, no bot can tell you that. Only the human experience can do that. And these two women shared their passions last evening at Startup Huddle St. Lucia. This morning, we had secondary school startup day. And this afternoon, right now, we are talking about Road to Riyadh, the launch of EWC. And our next event and final event for GEW is taking place on Saturday night in Safi Estate Library at Melly's Mix It Up. Some persons most commonly know it, locals, as Debbie's Place. From 6:30 onwards, we have Entrepreneurship Fail Forward Night, a gathering for entrepreneurs who are mainly from the South. So if you thought that there was nothing for you, there is something that's just for you. So we're giving you everything. And we are celebrating everyone who is doing something to make a difference in their own lives and in the lives of others. And we celebrate you. We salute you, our fellow entrepreneurs. But now let's get into what you came to learn about. You came to learn about Entrepreneurship World Cup. And it is a program that I am very, very passionate about. Passionate because it opens up so many doors and so many opportunities in ways that I never thought possible. And it is now dubbed one of the biggest and most diverse startup pitch competitions and support programs of its kind. It features more than 370,000 entrepreneurs from over 200 countries and offering winners life-changing prizes. Since it launched in 2019, Entrepreneurship World Cup has awarded $3 million in cash prizes, $150 million worth of in-kind prizes, and provided opportunities for entrepreneurs at all levels, idea stage to scale-up stage, to reach the next stage in their journey by providing them with free access to world-class training and resources, enhancing their visibility, and working to connect them to mentors and investors. When you look at this type of package, you wonder, what took them so long? This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we have been waiting for. And I will give you a snippet of my journey for EWC and how St. Lucia came to be part of this competition. In 2019, I was nominated for a global award, and that is the Ecosystem Champion. And this is a highly prestigious award that I was nominated for. And it basically talks about ecosystem building. I was nominated for being the ecosystem champion in the globe. That's what I was nominated for. Though I did not win that year, when I attended that ceremony, that event, it really opened my eyes to the opportunities that we as St. Lucians can benefit from in so many ways. I was in a smorgasbord of opportunities and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. I just wanted to absorb everything and just bring it back home. But how could I do that? How could I package all of what I was being exposed to, seeing, learning, experiencing? and take it back home. How could I do that? What type of initiative or venture or program could help me to do that, to expose our St. Lucian entrepreneurs to what these opportunities are? And this event that I'm speaking of is called Global Entrepreneurship Congress. It is a gathering of entrepreneurs around the globe in a different country every single year for 1 week. For 1 week, you come together, you network, you share, you listen to each other, you learn, you connect, you partner. There's the potential to attract investors. And there's the potential to also advance your business because of who you are connecting with. People, organizations, industries, investors that you could have never thought possible in the same room as you, sitting next to you. And this was an amazing opportunity for me in 2019 when I was nominated for that award. And I represented St. Lucia in Bahrain in 2019. And when I got there, I listened to a new competition that they were launching. And everything I heard about it was just phenomenal. Everything I heard about it. And I got so excited and I wanted to bring this back home, but how do I do that? And then the opportunity came where they were asked who would like to lead and run and organize and manage this competition in their country. Come to the roundtable meeting, sign that MOU. And that's exactly what I did. I was already leading Startup Huddle in St. Lucia. And I saw this opportunity for entrepreneurs to get access to a global stage, and I took it, I grabbed it. I signed that MOU, and right then and there, St. Lucia became one of the first islands and the only island in the Caribbean at the time that participated in EWC. Other islands came on board, thankfully, but we were the first because I just grabbed that opportunity. And as soon as I signed that MOU, I went on lives and I started talking about it and saying, hey guys, there's this new opportunity. You need to take part of this. You need to take part in this. It is going to give you access to things you have dreamed about. This is it. And I put that out there and I shared it and I shared it and I put it out there. And when I got back home, I hit the ground running, partnering, pulling people together and running with it. Sharing the information out there and making sure that people knew and they applied. And that was the first year St. Lucia took part. And I am happy and excited that the individual who emerged as St. Lucia's national winner, who also got to go to Saudi Arabia, where the global finals are held, is here with us today so that he can share his story. He can share his experience in 2019 when he participated in Entrepreneurship World Cup. And I'm speaking of Mr. Martin Hanna of Penny Pinch. Martin, I'm going to bring you on now. Are you still there with us?
I'm here.
All right, awesome. So let's bring you on. Okay, so welcome, Martin. Good afternoon. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk on those experiences.
And it's a real pleasure to have you because I know you're very busy. I see all the great things that you're doing everywhere that you go. Opportunities are just falling at your feet at this time. But what we want to discuss with you, Martin, is for persons who, of course, I gave a bit of an interest to what EWC and when we kind of transitioned into being part of it. But you were the first to really benefit from EWC on that level. So I want persons to understand what was it like, the experience, and also going into Saudi Arabia. So we're going to take it step by step. So first of all, let's start with the application process. Like what motivated you to apply to EWC?
Well, I think I mean, and one thing I'll say, it has been a long time. 2019 is some years ago, so I've had to go back and try and recollect my thoughts on what as I was thinking back then. But I remember clearly, I was just browsing, doing research, looking for opportunities, and I came across, EWC, and I think for you as well back then as the rep. I had applied for it just out of trying new things, trying to put the company out there, sort of applied and forgot about it. And then a few months later, realizing that I've been accepted for over a month without even realizing that. And then checking the email and sort of starting to go through the process, getting my visa organized, travel plans. And what was nice is it was a first for me in terms of leaving St. Lucia internationally. So from a travel experience, it was also really um overwhelming in a good way. A lot of new things I was able to see and do. But apart from the application process being, while it's simple, it's a bit lengthy because you're required to submit information about your company in order for you to be considered. Things like pitch decks, video interviews, answering tons of questions. But in the end, I think what made it unique as well was I don't think there was not much of an emphasis on the Caribbean and people from the Caribbean entering. So I saw this as an opportunity to snatch, knowing that since it was still something new, I probably would have been considered, and that's what ended up happening. So I was really happy to represent St. Lucia. So that's really my 2 cents on the application process. And not only that, but even prior to going to Saudi Arabia, we got access to perks that amounted to, I believe, over 250K. Not all that you will use, they say 250,000, but it's really the ones that, for example, at Penny Pinch, we made use of the cloud hosting perks. So we were able to host our platform for 2 years without paying on both Amazon and IBM. So that saved us tens of thousands of dollars over the past 2 years as well, which we benefited from.
Awesome. And let's take a look at um, the the process of preparing, because you were selected as our national winner, yes, but there had to be some things that took place before you got to go. You had to prepare. So there was a certain period of mentorship that you had to go through on a regular basis, to prep you. What was that process like?
Yeah, so I mean, coming back to the whole idea of the World Cup is it's a pitch competition. That's sort of what they're preparing you for as like the final deliverable. So we had a lot of workshops, um, pitch presentation preparations, speaking with one-on-ones with different people that we're able to connect with. So there was that entire phase of prior to Saudi Arabia where we engaged with a lot of, specialists, advisors, experts, and you were able to connect with the people that sort of matter to you.
Mhm.
'Cause not everyone does matter to you or relate to your industry, so you're able to connect with based on your needs. Yeah.
Right. And we actually call it sort of a boot camp in a sense,
Right.
where every week you'd have to meet with someone for a certain period of time and go through the tasks that you were assigned and make sure that you were meeting those deliverables on time so that you could be part of the top 100. And we all know that to be part of the top 100, that's a huge feat in itself because you're competing with thousands of entrepreneurs over the globe and they're looking for the best of the best. So the fact that you made the top 100 is in itself commendable, right? But you were not the only one in the region at the time who was selected as part of the top 100, which is excellent. I was so great. I think it was 10 of you, or I think 4 to 10 of you.
There were definitely other neighboring islands. I remember
Yeah.
meeting people from like St. Vincent, Jamaica, Antigua, Barbados. So yeah, you definitely have a like Caribbean community going up. and representing as well. So it wasn't just St. Lucia.
Yeah. So let's look at um you preparing to go to Saudi Arabia because and the thing is you were the only one. I mean, the competition happened, each year since 2019, but you were the only one who got to go to Saudi Arabia. So I think everybody in a sense is jealous of you because of that.
Yeah.
Because after you went, it was a whole COVID issue, and then there was everything had to go virtual, so persons could not travel to Saudi Arabia as it was intended. But now it's changing back. As of last year, it changed again, where persons are now able to travel. Thankfully things have died down. But since you were the only one and the first one who was able to make it to Saudi Arabia, tell us what that experience was like. Shifting from Saint Lucia and going into Saudi Arabia. What welcomed you there?
As I mentioned, it was my first time also leaving St. Lucia at the international level. So I passed through London and got to explore there for a few hours. Pretty long flight, prepare for that as well. Prepare for a pretty long journey to Saudi Arabia itself. Before we actually arrived to Saudi Arabia, well, Riyadh, at the hotel, we actually went to the university campus where we all stayed there for a few days. That's where a lot of the workshops and networking happened. Um, so we were at this university campus, really modern, beautiful architecture, um, great access to all sorts of things around you. So they had us in these villas at the campus. We were, exploring different facilities, speaking with different people. There's just a lot of workshops. I actually have a range of pictures and videos. If we could maybe try and share my screen later and visually showcase that as well, that would be nice. And then from the university, we then flew to Riyadh, where the actual, I would say, competition was happening.
Mm,
That was really it was a welcoming experience, visiting the Middle East for the first time, seeing what that culture is. While majority of people do speak Arabic as the main language, that they speak English as well. So it wasn't too difficult to communicate with the locals. There is a strict no alcohol policy that
mm,
there is a few cultural things that you do have to respect. The way you talk to certain people, the way you just behave in public. So it's definitely more stricter, but nothing crazy that anyone could relate to. Um Apart from that, the time difference was definitely a thing to consider, a bit of jet lag getting there, but all worth it, all an amazing experience. We I also got to personally just explore around for a little bit of time, check out the different spots. There was an entire carnival at that time going on, so I was able to check out different booths at that carnival. Um, but yeah, that's sort of the journey to Riyadh. And then we could talk about the competition itself as sort of the main attraction.
okay, so we're talking about you in like you getting to Riyadh, but let's backtrack a little bit, right? Because the thing about it is that you started in one place, where Penny Pinch was at doing something a little different than what it's doing now. Um, so can you please, tell us where did you start with Penny Pinch? What was Penny Pinch when you entered, the competition? And then, if you can tell us, what do you think may have given you that edge to be part of the top 100 with what you were doing at the time?
I think the edge was sort of being innovative in the region. While what we've done has been done 5 years ago or 10 years ago in the first world, you still have to respect that developing countries are able to catch up, and those players that bring the future closer when it comes to financial services deserve, guess, that respect, even if we're such a small country. So I think being really the one of the few startups in St. Lucia at that time who was really solving a major problem, gave us an edge, you know, a respectable edge for our country and our region.
Yeah, and I definitely want to make mention of that, guys. So keep that in mind. Actually, solving a problem, having that edge is key. Okay, having that edge is key. So now we're talking about, Penny Pinch going to Riyadh and you getting to pitch. And I'm going to put something on the screen. And I want you to tell us what was happening on that day, if you can recall. Just
Sure.
let us know what was happening on that day. I have this picture of you right there.
Really, I'm curious to see what picture it is. Is it showing up yet? Haven't seen it yet.
And I'm not sure whether you'd be able to remember what was going on. I'm hoping that you will. But
I'm
if
not
you
able
can let
to
us
see
know
it yet.
what was happening on that day.
Yeah, I'm not able to see it yet. Let's
Not yet. Okay. So while it's loading up, um, the other thing too is that since you were physically there are different things, or as a process that you have to go through before you make it to the finals. We call it like the finals, because even though
Yeah.
you make it to Riyadh, you're not you're not
Mhm.
yet at the final stage. There's something that you have to do there's some processes that you have to go through before you can get to the final stage. Can you tell us what that was like?
Well, it was a large competition. I mean, you had 100 people competing with only 3 people getting prize. So it was sort of a breakdown into different rounds. So there was a few rounds which then sort of got into the quarterfinals, semis, and then finals. Um, okay, now I see the picture that you're showing. But yeah, that what was going through my head. I think I just pitched while I was getting ready to pitch. A lot of emotions were going forward. You know, everybody was preparing at the time. It was cool that they gave us these like personalized t-shirts. I still have mine to this day. I just have it in my closet, but it's pretty cool to see the St. Lucian flag and represent in Saudi Arabia. But coming back to the competition, and feel free to unshare your screen now. Um, Coming back to the competition, it's very competitive. I went there thinking I was this, champion going to win first place. And in reality, I was, because at the time we were still young compared to right now. So we were sort of little kiddos in the big fish tank. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people were solving some crazy problems at different stages. So I got bumped out the first round. I didn't really get too far in the competition itself, but I didn't really make that bum me out. I just used it as an opportunity to continue networking, use the extra time to maybe explore around, learn a few things about the country, just meet random people who I could potentially partner with or keep in touch with.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and really also get to listen to a lot of the panel discussions that were happening. We had infamous people like Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, who I
Mm-hmm.
actually got a picture with. I'll see if I could share that afterwards. I got a picture with him, so it was cool just being around so many leaders. And um yeah, it was a massive stage, a massive competition. But the finalists were, really innovative companies who I still follow today. Because the good thing about following people on LinkedIn, is you keep up with them and what they're up to. So I still connect with a few of those people that I would have met, years back in Saudi.
Okay, so were there any individuals or experiences that really made a difference for you and your business that you would say kind of helped you turn things around?
I would say speaking with people who are much further than me in the startup journey made me realize that I was still starting off back then, so there was a lot of room for growth. So
Right.
it was a lot of perspective, figuring things out, and it also got me out of my comfort zone, having been forced to interact with people and these one-on-one sessions. So not only that, but the pitch practice did help. And back then these were my early times in pitching, so every little experience does count. Yeah.
Yeah, because of course you participated in Get in the Ring. I think you did the Pitch Pit as well. That's in Barbados, and you beat out everybody. In Barbados, everybody's like, "But where did this guy come from? He wasn't even on the list, and he just came and just took everything. Like, what's going on? You just
Yeah.
disrupted everything everywhere you went." So it looked like you just had this good luck charm, on your shoulder, in every single situation that you were put in. What do you think really kept you at the forefront and it still keeps you going to this day?
I think it's curiosity, just being addicted to figuring out new stuff, finding new opportunities. Um, yeah, curiosity keeps you searching, and the more you search, you eventually catch something. It creates more odds of luck in your favor, the harder you sort of work towards a goal. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just keep putting yourself out there, and opportunities would somewhat come your way, magically come your way. They say it's sort of this hard work equals more luck. Or the way I like to see it, the more people you meet, the higher chance you meet someone that's actually important.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just curiosity.
Curiosity, that's what keeps you going. Other persons would say, my children is my children are my motivator, or wanting to be my own boss, is my motivator, or
Yeah.
basically wanting to be in complete control over what I do and what I can't do. That's my motivation. But for you, it's more curiosity and learning and
Well,
experience.
at this point right now, it's been such a while where all the things you've stated are sort of past me. I'm able to make my own schedule. I'm my own boss. All these things that you've stated do come with time as part of being an entrepreneur. So for me, it's different right now. It's more of, growing the platform, growing the company, starting to focus on hiring people, creating a massive team. So all these things, all these glamorous things about being an entrepreneur, do come through over time.
Now you're at this point of creating jobs.
Yeah.
From where you started to now creating jobs. Can you imagine that? And I would just like you to share with people, how old is Penny Pinch to this day?
We started in 2018, so getting to 6 years right now.
So
We're about
can you imagine what you have accomplished so far in such a short space of time that many people cannot say they have accomplished? That's amazing.
we're getting ready to raise our first seeded capital from investors. Hoping to begin hiring up to a team of 30 people. So it's a lot of growth in the next 5 years. In the first 5 years are really just building your foundation and sort of securing yourself to the idea that you're working on. Next 5 years is really growth and scale.
Awesome. So there is progress. There's actually progression. And that's the difference with what I see with you, is that you can see the progression from where you started to where you're at now. And then it's like the sky is the limit because you just keep going. So do you have anything that you want to share with us in terms of your experience that I have not mentioned or I have not asked about? Is there anything that you want to share with us about your experience on EWC? And also, if there's anything that you want to tell us about Penny Pinch and what's happening right now, this is your time to share.
Yeah, sure. I mean, on Penny Pinch, then, we've been really just focusing on building out key products that the market needs, such as digital remittances directly to your phone, not having to line up to send money abroad, your own MasterCard, debit card on your phone. So we've been working on a lot of things. We're very careful about how we approach our marketing, and we were just sort of closing out a few key product launches right now, and you expect to see us out in the market again very soon. Um, Exciting new app features that we think everybody would love. And, just to sort of summarize the experience, I would encourage, every St. Lucian entrepreneur to apply. There's no hurting of applying, because you do get some perks even if you don't get accepted, and you get to access the community and whatnot. For those who do get accepted, make the best out of it. It's a travel experience, it's a cultural experience. It's one you won't get in the Caribbean for sure.
Excellent. And Martin, will you be applying to EWC this year?
I'll see. I'm thinking about it, but as I mentioned a while back, I'd love to have another St. Lucian represent or give them the opportunity. So I probably won't be applying just for that reason, to give someone else an opportunity to have that experience.
And that's very noble of you. It really is. It is very, very noble of you. And I admire that you would like to see other persons get that opportunity that you got. And since then, since the year that you won national winner, we have had two winners since then. We've had Gillen Avril with his Meditags, and we've had Kissia Peter with 360. And each year from 2019, 2020, 2021, each year after that, every single one of our entrepreneurs made it to the top 100. And that is something to be commended, guys. So that should tell us that we have stuff that can bring ourselves out there, that is something that can compete on a global stage, but we still have a little bit of work to do. We have some fine tuning to do. So, let's see. Okay, so Martin, you can go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I just had some pictures I could just slide through. So that was me pitching, for example. It was a pretty wet situation where everyone had headsets on, because there was so many different rooms and people pitching at the same time.
Oh, okay.
This guy had this robotic arm. We're able to, that was the view from Riyadh, one of the towers. Here's an example of
Sitting
how
on the floor.
we get used to the culture. It's symbolic for them to sort of lay on the carpet, sit on the floors while you eat. A lot of range of diverse foods as well. It was very
Was
appetizing.
there anything there that scared you in a sense that you were not ready for?
I wouldn't say so. Just not, for people who are not from that side of the world, it could be weird to see everybody sort of in the same outfit, or covering up. But maybe times have changed and it's a bit more open now. As an example of the panels that were happening, we had Mr. Wonderful on. These were the actual finalists, I believe. Yeah, the finalists. Picture I got with Mr. Wonderful. Some London pictures during my travel. Yeah.
And if you were to give any advice to persons who are thinking of applying to EWC now, looking at the journey that you took and all the transitions that you had to go through to where you're at, what type of advice would you give applicants to EWC this year?
It's really competitive, so you need to really pay attention to your application, because at the end of the day, that's what's being judged. So put a lot of effort into the details, into the decks. The pitch deck is really important. These are the things that they're going to be judging you on. So don't rush it. Really take advantage of the time that they give you to apply, and think of it as you're competing against 99 other companies that are likely ahead of you, because it is quite competitive. You see people, different companies, either making 1 million a year to making 50 million a year. You see companies of all different sizes that you're competing with. So that's the mindset. You're competing against the big boys, so really pay attention to that application process.
Awesome, awesome. So, your final parting words, Martin, so we can let you go. Anything that you want to share?
Yeah, on a general, always look out for these opportunities, pitch competitions, conferences. I've been going to a few conferences lately. These are also having some good impact. But look out for these competitions, not just all around the world, but there's a lot happening in the Caribbean as well, Trinidad, Barbados. There's a lot of pitch competitions and entrepreneurship networks. So it's really, as I said, curiosity, look out for these things, continue looking for these sorts of networking opportunities. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Martin, again, I want to thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your experience and those photos. I'm sure that brought back some memories to you, sharing that with us. So, thank you so much for being here. And we wish you well on what it is that you're doing now. Is there anything that's happening right now that you would maybe like persons to throw your support behind you that you would like to share?
Not yet, but soon we'll be hitting the market with a lot of specials, promotions. For now, I'd say, explore the Penny Pinch app. You could do a bunch of things on it, like pay your bills, pay businesses, receive money from friends and family. We just relaunched our verification system, so customers are able to sort of get verified in a shorter time span, without too many issues. So we've really just been optimizing our platform, and we're hoping by early of next year we'll begin our marketing campaigns again.
Awesome. And we have a message in the chat saying, where do we apply? Can you just drop in the chat there your the link so that persons can apply for the Penny Pinch app? I have both apps, actually, the individual and also the merchant app. I use Penny Pinch myself, and it is a great, great, great tool, guys. So if you do not yet have Penny Pinch, I advise you to apply and ensure that you have that app, whether you're an individual and also if you're a business. Also, you can have Penny Pinch and accept payments through Penny Pinch as well. So
Yeah,
again, thank you.
Keegan was referring to where do they apply to
Oh
EWC.
no, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about that, but we definitely want to ensure that persons apply for Penny Pinch, guys. Apply for Penny Pinch. So Martin, please type in your the link there for persons to apply to Penny Pinch so that we can copy and then add that in. So thank you so much, Martin, for joining us. We know that you have to step out. So again, have a great day and take care of yourself. All right. So guys, again, I want to really go back to what Martin was saying. He was talking about what stood out, what made him qualify, as for being one of the top 100 applicants. And these are applicants from all around the globe, because in each country, there's only a certain number of persons that are selected to be a winner. There's only a certain amount of persons that are selected per country to be a winner. And only the winners, as well as those that are as good as the winners, are selected as part of the top 100. So in St. Lucia, only one winner is selected. Okay? Only one. Only one winner can be selected. Only one can make it and be crowned as the national winner. And that person is advanced to the top 100. However, if there are other applicants aside from that national winner that may meet some of the criteria of the top 100, there are other persons who can be selected. It is possible. Okay? But definitely, we made it to the top 100 3 years in a row. And I know we can do it again. I know we can do it again. Again, there are 3 different stages: idea stage, early stage, growth stage. And I will be sharing information about what the rules are, a description of the stages, and so on. So I have another guest with me who I will be speaking with about her business. and also what she is doing in her country and in the region. And let me tell you guys, this is an individual who I believe is a great contender for EWC in her country. But we're going to make the connection as to how I know this person and how all of this got started. I'm going to make the connection. But first, what I want to do is I want you to understand that even though this is a competition, the fact that you have access to tools and resources will definitely benefit you and your development. So even before you start competing, the platform that you are accessing when you apply gives you access to those workshops, webinars, tools and resources that you can attend and use for yourself and your business to make it work for you. Okay? So you have access to this and it's all free. You don't pay for any of it. This is world-class valuable information that's valued at thousands and thousands of dollars, but you have access to it for free. Okay? So I would like to just take a quick pause while I bring on my next guest, who I'm going to briefly introduce. And her name is Jayme Hoyte. And I'm going to share with you who she is. So Jayme is the co-founder and director of SmartTerm Limited. She's SmartTerm Limited in itself is a pioneering education management platform. And it is dedicated to digitizing schools and creating a streamlined online environment for both teachers and students. Under her leadership, the platform aims to enhance efficiency in school management. Ms. Hoyte earned her Bachelor in Economics and International Relations from the University of the West Indies, or UWI, followed by her Master's in Global Studies, with a specialization in economics and foreign aid. She further expanded her knowledge through a one-month scholarship program in India, focusing on international management for sustainable growth and development at the India Institute of Public Administration. Recognized for her outstanding contributions to the education technology industry, Ms. Hoyte was honored as one of DMZ's Women of the Year last year. Her dedication to the social and economic development of the region is evident through her active involvement in various initiatives. With a remarkable track record as an award-winning innovator, tech leader, and grant writer, Ms. Hoyte boasts over a decade of entrepreneurial experience. Her passion lies in supporting fellow entrepreneurs, embodying a strong commitment to their success and the advancement of the broader business landscape. And without further ado, I would like to bring on to the screen Miss Jayme Hoyte.
Hello, Michelle. Hello, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy. I'm celebrating the entire week, so I'm happy.
I know, I know.
And how are you doing? What's the weather like where you are?
My God, I'm fine. I'm doing very well. The weather is rainy. We're entering into that rainy season over here in Trinidad and Tobago. So, we're just trying to manage it, keep safe, keep warm as well, But yeah, definitely the weather is very gloomy and rainy.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's raining here as well.
Right.
I think the weather here is very confusing because it's hot.
Yes.
And it's chilly at the same time. I don't know what's going on. It's like I'm having hot flashes and all kind of stuff. But yeah, so we're talking about you and we're talking about and I'm not going to say your business per se, because you're dabbling in a lot of different things.
A lot of different things.
I don't want to say any particular one is your company.
Right.
You're basically a serial entrepreneur as far as I'm concerned, from what I see, right? but specifically what we're talking about is SmartTerm.
SmartTerm, yeah.
And what I want you to do is to just give us an idea as to, where this all began, what really prompted you, and what gave rise to this. That's what I want you to first start out by sharing with us.
Awesome. So SmartTerm is co-founded by a number of individuals, persons who have been friends for a couple of years, who have went to school both in the Caribbean system as well as in the US, and in having some of them gone to school in the US, they would have have access to digital platforms, going through the school system, learning management system. And they saw this as something that, they could have brought back to the Caribbean, understanding the Caribbean needs, understanding our teachers and, our Caribbean journey and our Caribbean culture. We brought back the system here for the benefit of the teachers, parents, students, as well as government officials, to operate seamlessly on this particular platform, right? So understanding that, bringing back the system and, tweaking it for our culture. This is where, the birth of SmartTerm came, being able to fill a gap where, teachers in our schools, things like, having printing costs being very sky high, when we go to school is tons of past papers and different handout teachers would have had to print, so we are eliminating those type of costs for principals, so that schools can operate much more efficiently, even saving on time, so that teachers can, save on time in preparing materials and stuff like that, and be able to focus their time more on actually teaching within the classroom, right? So that's basically where SmartTerm was birthed. It is a regional company, a regional organization that it's modern, and it's an education management information system, that is benefiting, I should say, lots of Caribbean schools, teachers, as well as governments. And what it is this company really bring to our schools in the Caribbean is that not only it's an education management information system, but also it encompasses a student information system, right? It also encompasses a learning management system and other features, such as we recently added an AI planner for teachers. So, teachers can now eliminate the amount of time, because we know they spend hours, sometimes days, generating these lesson plans, to come to teach the classroom. So with AI, and we have to really tap into the power of AI, and we have done that, brought it into the classroom, and teachers are saving lots of time in generating those plans. Another powerful aspect of SmartTerm for governments specifically is that right now in the Caribbean, all of our governments, ministries of education, they take on average 18 months. Michelle, they take on average 18 months to generate data, for education, decision making. So with a tool like SmartTerm that provides a dashboard for governments to ensure that they have all the relevant information and data on students, they can make decisions within a matter of minutes. They can have access to that data that will really generate, their decisions and policies as it concerns education.
Wow. Now, all of what you shared there, this is not news, because this has been happening, especially in your country and in other islands in the region that have brought SmartTerm, into their systems, into their processes. Now, there was a fellowship that we connected, because of course that's how we got to know each other. There was a fellowship that we connected at, and you were, of course, part of this fellowship. But what really brought you there? Can you give us a brief description of that journey from where SmartTerm started to going into that fellowship?
Awesome. So that fellowship is the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative, and I stand behind that. I stand proudly on it. Yes, because when you look at an entrepreneur, this program really takes you from, even if you just have an idea, to actually scaling out your business, everything in between, of understanding the technicality of being an entrepreneur. That is what the Young Leaders of the Americas do for a lot of the entrepreneurs within the Caribbean as well as Latin America. So that was in 2018. I was selected to travel to the United States to be a part of this program. It was a 4 weeks program where they partnered us with different organizations similar to our field so that we can, basically understudy that organization, understand, their ins and outs, their operations, how it is they manage their businesses as successful entrepreneurs. And we just basically would have gone through workshops, also would have gone through that in person, hands-on with those businesses, and gain those relevant knowledge that we can now implement within our businesses, as well as bring back to our country and share, advocate for entrepreneurship, and really develop the future entrepreneurs within our country.
Awesome. And this particular fellowship, right? I know this is where we connected and everything, and and there's something that I did. I'm not sure whether you did it as well, because I'm very meticulous about these things. Every opportunity that I get, I always make the most of it. So way before we even got to, Atlanta, Georgia, I had already studied every single person's profile to see what type of business that they were in or what type of work they were doing and who I wanted to connect with based on what I was doing. I was adamant about doing that. So there were 250 of us. I studied 249 profiles. That's literally what I did. And I was like, I know exactly who I want to connect with and who I can foresee myself working with in the future. And you just happen to be one of those people on the list. And one of the reasons that I identified you in that way is because there was a platform. Well, let's start with what I was doing already, right?
Yeah.
So in coming back to St. Lucia, I pivoted what I was doing because initially I had an employment agency. And I am now going into a new venture, which is a social enterprise, SLUDTERA at the time. And then I realized that I am requiring a platform that I can, house my programming, the curriculum, and the different, trainings that I provide. And I'm always, researching to see what type of, options are there. But I wanna always support local. I want to start in-house. Yeah. That's what I'm always passionate about. And if I can't find it local, I go regional. And then if regional is not available, then I go outside of that. So I was like, okay, I'm not really getting any platforms locally that I can use that I really want to, integrate into my programming. I don't want to use Google Classroom. I don't, because there are various limitations there. So I'm like, okay, what do I use? What platform do I use for my programming? And I couldn't find it locally. And then I'm like, okay, everybody is saying, well, there's Canvas, and there's this and there's that. I'm like, okay, yes, I know, but I want to start with a local or a regional. That's what I want to do. I want to support local or support regional. And then when I saw SmartTerm and what SmartTerm is doing, I'm like, but this is exactly what I'm looking for. So yes, there is Canvas and there's Moodle and there's all of that, but we have something in our own region, in our own backyard. I mean, we were not very close to each other in a sense of, geographically, but, call it a stone's throw in the region anyway, where that close to each other. And we have these platforms and we have these ventures right there. Why not utilize what we have instead of going into these international companies and these international platforms that we're using? Why not support what we have in our region and beef that up? So that was my insight. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta try this. So I connected with Jayme and I basically housed launched our first training program on the platform, and I was blown away. I'm like, I love this man. I love this man. I love this man. I'm like, okay, so when is this coming to St. Lucia? Like, this was my next question. When is this coming to St. Lucia? So,
Right.
and this was a couple of years ago, guys. And it is still not in St. Lucia. I'm like, but oh, hello.
I declare after today, it will be in St. Lucia. We're calling on the powers that be.
Yes, please. Yes,
But
please.
I truly love and appreciate your process in the sense of, you know, you look local. If it's not local, you look regional. If it's not regional, then you go outside, because I have seen too many instances where, you know, we tend to rush for outside. You know, outside, foreign thing is better than our own. You know, we have that type of thing. And I think we have some amazing, skilled, knowledgeable, you know, very competent individuals working on massive projects right here in the Caribbean. And I believe some of them, they are just looking for that shot. They're just looking for that opportunity for one person to say yes, we're going to work with you. And, you know, the rest is history. So I appreciate that. And, you know, we're really looking to launch out into other Caribbean islands. And, you know, we hope St. Lucia would definitely be one. We're currently in Jamaica. As well as St. Vincent and the Grenadines just came on with their entire country. All of their schools are on from their primary, secondary, and we're now looking to you know, further discussions where the colleges are concerned. So St. Vincent is definitely fully locked into SmartTerm.
Awesome. So you have Jamaica, you have St. Vincent. Of course, you mentioned, of course, and you're from Trinidad.
Right, and we have schools in different islands, but in terms of like a massive you know, where the government itself, you know, mandate that this platform is for all schools, that is in St. Lucia, partially in Jamaica, but we have other schools in other parts of the Caribbean region.
Okay, so let us say if we had to get the attention of the persons who need to, you know, get in touch with you and say, hey, let's discuss having this platform, you know, here in St. Lucia. Who do these people need to be? Can you please let us know?
I would definitely say the Minister of Education, the Director of Education.
Just saying. Just calling it out there.
And any of their technical persons on that education team.
Awesome, the education team. So that definitely means I'm definitely making a few emails and calls. Yeah. Okay. So that, you know, we can maybe facilitate a discussion, because there's nothing wrong with a discussion, right? Definitely. That's what it starts, with a discussion. So let's see if we can get you a discussion with Mr. Edward or his PS or someone in his ministry. We love that. The technical team to have a conversation with you and see what is the opportunity, you know, that's open there, the opportunity. Let's just see if there is a potential there. But let's talk EWC. Jayme, let's talk EWC. Have you ever heard of EWC? That's what we're here for. Have you heard of EWC before today?
Before today, I think I heard about it, but I've never really delved into it and, you know, to go into it. So I'm excited to, you know, when you shared it with me, and to go through it and to see, you know, what are the criteria they're looking for, really high caliber entrepreneurs. And what I see in there is that they're really there to support. They're really there to support. So I'm excited for that. And, you know, let's discuss.
Awesome. Now, I have my handy tablet here with me that I'm going to be pulling information from as we go along, because this is a big deal, guys, right? Yeah. EWC is a big deal, especially for me, because when I jumped on board and I signed that MOU, I went head first in this, because I'm like, I want to put my country on the map, and I want to have my people, you know, have a straight shot to the global stage. Exactly. And that was what my focus was. So let's go. So let's start with idea stage, right? Yeah. When you look at idea stage, this is what they consider to be idea stage. new company, you're not sure, right, how to start or
Right.
find the resources that you need to take the next step. And it helps you to unleash your idea. Listen to what you're getting at the idea stage, right?
Right.
Free on-demand training, $10,000 worth of books. Idea stage. That's what you get.
That's amazing.
Yeah? That's what you get. Idea stage. Free on-demand training and $10,000 in books just for signing up.
Right.
Just
That's
for
good.
filling out your application. You automatically get that done. So if you are filling out, if you go online and you fill out that application and then you click submit,
Right.
when you get access to the platform, you automatically get your $10,000 worth of perks. Now, I know you heard, those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is the launch of, this is Road to Riyadh, launch of EWC St. Lucia. But if you're here with us from the beginning, you would remember Martin said that he had access to perks. And one of those perks gave him 2 years of hosting that he would have paid thousands of dollars for, and he got that for free. And that helped to propel his business. So if your business is in need of hosting, a hosting platform, and you get access to this, wouldn't you want to get that type of service for free and have to save that money? That's great for startups. Saving money is a startup's dream because we don't want to spend, we want to get.
Yeah? Exactly. And before you go forward with the rest of the information, when you say new organization, can you define that for the viewing audience? Because is it 1 year, 2 year? How do they define new?
Well, 1 year, there's no real definition for new, aside from the fact that you must have a team. So one person starts out, they normally start out alone, solo, But for EWC, for you to qualify in the idea stage and for you to be part of the competition, you must be a part of a team. So if you're solo, you need to find a partner, right? So you need to find somebody who is willing to work with you, who has the same vision as you, that you want to bring on board with you to work towards the growth of this company. So that's the first thing. You need to be a team of a minimum of 2 persons. Yeah? Cannot do it solo, right? The next thing is, and this is the part that I love most. Well, one of the things that I love most, you don't need to be registered, okay? Wow. Because a lot of the a lot of the other opportunities that you go to, one of the things that you must be legally registered in the company that you're operating in, blah, 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 blah. Not necessary. No. Idea stage, not necessary.
That's good.
But you must have an intention to register. That's all it is, an intention to. But you do not need to be registered, okay? You must have a functioning idea, okay? Have a set plan as to what the idea is, whether it is a process, whether it is a product, whether it is a service. You have to have a set idea, a very compelling one, a very one that's actually structured really well. Not an idea is not something that you just have in your head and it's just there. It's on paper that you can describe it. And, right. So that's your idea. You haven't really put it out there as yet. You haven't really started anything as yet, but it's there on paper. You just don't know what to do next. You don't know where to go next. You don't know how to do it next. That's your idea stage. This is you. Yeah. Another thing I want to mention is the age. And this is the part I said that I'm excited about because this was the part that I'm going to say it. I'm going to take credit for that. I had a hand in this one. I lobbied for this because, again, I am a passionate person that believes that young people are creative and can be innovative.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll share a very quick experience that when I first launched the Next Big Inventor with Joshua Esnard, who is a St. Lucian born but US-based inventor of the Cut Buddy, we launched Next Big Inventor. And one of the things that happened was that there was a potential investor that wanted to support the initiative, but he said the only way he will support it is if it wasn't for students. I was like, really? He said, yeah, if they are 21 and over, I will support the entire thing. I will fund the entire thing.
What was his reasoning why he said
he doesn't believe that students belong in that realm of entrepreneurship. He did not believe that. That was not part of his belief. And he could not support anything that basically forwarded students as being entrepreneurs. He didn't believe in that. And that's his personal belief. So he did not want to invest in youth and in students. He didn't want to. He said, if it was adults, no problem, but students, no.
No.
Not interested. And he said, well, take it or leave it. I'm like, okay, bye. I literally turned down that flat because it was built for students. It was the only program and competition at the time that was willing to develop students from idea stage and bring them up to fruition.
Yes.
And then get their products and stuff or whatever on the shelves. That was the only one at the time doing this. And Joshua was right behind me and said, yes, let's do this, right? So with that being said, I lobbied and I said, hey, the director of EWC at the time, I said, you have the idea stage there, and I'm noticing that, qualifying age is 18 and over, blah, blah. What about young persons? I mean, you said anyone, anywhere.
Right.
So is there a way that you can, she said, okay, well, let me
incorporate them,
team and I will get back to you. Back and forth discussion and everything, and I justified my point, and guess what? They opened it up to young persons. So yes, you heard right. If you are below the age of 18, but as long as you're under the idea stage category, you are eligible to apply EWC. And I was so excited about that. And the reason I'm happy that I did that is because after, I think it was the year after, we had our first minor applicant and participant. She actually won one of the national awards. She was the youngest winner in the entire competition history, 15 years of age.
Wow.
15 years of age, and she was one of the winners of EWC nationally. And her name is Amber Rose Harris. And I'm very proud of this young lady. If I did not lobby for her, she would not have been there.
Exactly. She would not have the opportunity.
She would not have been there. And she got to actually speak at there was a UK event happening at Gen UK, and she was invited to speak as a result of that.
Wow, you see?
Other opportunities open up for her because of that. She's received support, in-kind support from the Taiwan Embassy as well because of her, because of that opportunity.
Wonderful.
But let's move on. Let's move forward, right? So for the idea stage, you already know that you're getting access to, and this is something that is really valuable, guys. Training is something that you can't get for free nowadays. Everything you have to pay for now because everything costs money. And this is global level training, okay? Training you to up the ante. That's the type of training you're getting with EWC. And you also get a chance to win, and that is if you make it to the global finals in the idea stage. You have a chance to win $50,000 in cash.
Wonderful.
That's what you have the opportunity to win, right? For the early stage persons, so for those persons, their training is valued, the perks is valued at $100,000 worth of perks. And the cash prize is $300,000 in the global stage. And for the growth stage, now there is a maximum. You cannot be in operation for more than 7 years. So let's go into that. So in terms of the training, you have access to same level training, and a chance to win a $3,000 check, plus a chance to meet and network with peers and top investors locally and internationally. Okay. So This is what is open to idea, early, and growth
Early
stage.
and
So
growth.
even if you have just an idea, you are eligible.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think
Jayme,
if you are an entrepreneur or you're even in that type of world, you'd understand how important it is, for entrepreneurs to fund their business and to seek out that sponsorship and funding. And I have never seen, Michelle, truth be told, I've never seen a competition or anything offer this amount of support, training, as well as in cash funds. So yeah, this is a steal of a deal here in terms of developing yourself personally, networking and connecting with like-minded individuals, improving your business model as well, and actually pitching to get that funding, which is really, really good. So I would say, for anyone who is viewing, look at the criterias and see how you fit best and, try to get in.
yeah, definitely. Now, for those persons that I mentioned, the students, right?
Yeah.
Who are under the age of 18. I'm going to just take a snippet of one of the rules here. I'm so glad I've lobbied for this, guys. You have no
Yeah.
idea. I'm so excited about this, right? So it says here that applicants who does not meet the required age, which is the 18.
Yeah.
It says here that your parent or legal guardian must be your other team member. Yeah.
Oh.
So if you are the student and it's your dream, it's your idea, it's your baby and whatever, and you don't have a team member, because remember, it must be a team of 2 minimum.
Yeah.
Your parent can be that other team member, that parent or guardian. And that person will be your co-applicant.
Very
Okay?
important.
That would be your co-applicant. And your parent or legal guardian of the applicant must consent to all EWC participation, provisions, representation of their child, and so on and so forth. And if in the event that you make it as a winner, if in the event you make it as a winner and you are the child, both you and your parent or guardian will receive, and it's an all expense paid trip to Saudi Arabia, by the way, guys. All expense paid. You don't have to pay for anything. All costs are covered. Yeah. So that is what I wanted to say with regards to student applicants, especially since this morning we just rounded up secondary school startup day at Leon Hess, and the winning team, they are now eligible to participate in EWC. That was their incentive. So as applicants, and they were the ages of 13 and 14. So they, with their parent consent, of course, will now be advancing into EWC.
Wonderful.
So I'm very excited for them, to be working with their parents and to get them ready to participate in this competition. So eligibility, it is 100% free to apply and participate, 100% free. And as it states, any startup from anywhere in the world is welcome to apply and become an applicant. Let me see. Applicant startups must be legally registered or planning to register in your country of residence. Remember, I said planning to, that's the idea stage. But if you're early and growth, you must be registered. Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. So EWC global winners. Oh, here we go. Applicants, startups must be 10 years or less. Ooh, they actually increased it. It used to be 7. They upped it to 10.
Oh, that's good.
They upped it to 10. Woo!
That is good.
You know what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is good.
SmartTerm, right? So Jayme, does it mean you're applying this year for SmartTerm? Are you?
I am very, very much intrigued by this particular competition, to be honest, very much intrigued. So I will definitely put it out to my team and we'll see if we can submit an application. When is the deadline?
Okay, so when it comes to deadlines, it's very fluid right now because typically the national organizers determine what the deadlines are in the various countries.
Right.
But if you do not have a national organizer in Trinidad, then your application will go to the global pool. And for that reason, the deadline is very, very open. So you would look at the global deadline, which is sometime next year, because the actual competition it culminates in 2024.
Right.
So this is the early stages. So the application process starts, well, it launches today in St. Lucia, but it has been open from since September 1st. So all of this time it is currently open. Okay, guys. So again, just to recap, idea stage, you can be below the age of 18, but you must apply with a parent as a co-applicant. Yeah. You do not need to be registered for you to apply in the idea stage. For early and growth stage companies, you must be 18 years of age and over, and you must be in a team of at least 2 persons, yeah, for you to participate and apply.
Quick question, Michelle. No, say the last one and then I'll ask you the question.
Okay. Yeah. For the growth stage, in terms of how long you've been in operation, 10 years and less. Okay, you must be operating for 10 years or less. And that is for the group stage. Yes, Jayme, you were saying.
Right. So you mentioned that you must have a team of 2. Is it that let's say you're selected, is it that 2 team members will be going to Saudi Arabia or 1 team member?
It'll be 1 representative.
1 representative.
Yeah. 1 representative. And that person must be an executive level member, authorized or deputized to act on behalf of the applicant organization or team.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So submitted application will be considered to be a team regardless of its company size.
Yeah.
So 2 is still a team. Yeah. According to the categories. Let's see. Now, your application submission must be your original work. Okay? Right. You can't be copying somebody else's thing and say it's yours. You can't do that. Okay? It must be your original work. And when you are filling out the application, Martin did hint at that. It is a lengthy application. Yes, it is. Because they are capturing as much information about you and your business, just to ensure that they choose the right company to represent your country. That's what they're doing. So they're capturing as much information about you as possible. Okay. Right. So you must include a pitch deck as well. So if you've never done a pitch deck before, find someone who can assist you in putting a pitch deck together, because that is a requirement. Okay. You must be able to articulate what your business is, or what your idea is, and what it does, who it is for. Okay. Why does it exist? The why behind your business or idea. You must be able to clearly articulate that. Okay. And you must be willing to participate in the media, have your picture taken, have your likeness used for promotional efforts, so on and so forth. Now, there are different stages of the competition. So, of course, you apply and you want to understand what it is that you have to go through. So let me just grab that very, very quickly.
In the meantime, have you ever seen an instance where they would have selected, 2 startups or 2 ideas from a particular country, or is it like 1 representative from St. Lucia, 1 from Trinidad?
Okay, so it depends on the size of the country, size per capita, number of people per capita, and also size. So because we're small developing countries, only 1 person is selected in each of our islands. However, in the bigger countries, up to 6 finalists can be selected. Right. But they must be from different stages. So the idea, early growth. So at least it encompasses all areas. Right. Because they want to give everyone a fair chance and a fair shot at winning. And another part of this year, what I love that they did, they added a component for social enterprises. They added a component there, because before that didn't really exist. It was mainly, for-profit companies and businesses and so on. but now there is a component for a social enterprise or organization or an NGO. So if you're
Right.
an NGO or a social enterprise, you can apply as well. There is a special component there for you. Okay.
Nice.
So let's take a look at the timeline. So in the application stages, of course, we launched today in St. Lucia. So applications are open and you can apply. Oh, here we go. There's a deadline.
Right.
March 2024.
Okay.
So you have
Good.
until March 2024 to apply until the deadline is reached. Between let's see, and between November this month into March, you will of course be put into the global pool for a chance to qualify for the EWC Global Finals. And
Right.
that is where the top 100 are selected. So in other words, the best of the best will be selected to compete to go to the global finals. Okay. EWC group stage and boot camp that's happening between May to June 2024. That's where all EWC group stage contestants, that is idea, early, group stage, different levels, different types of training, will participate in virtual training sessions. Direct and also one-on-one mentorship. Where did you ever hear that happening on such a scale? Normally, when you get mentorship like that, it's group mentorship.
Group
And
mentorship.
it's normally, at the convenience of the mentor.
Yeah.
But under this platform, in this program, it is scheduled and it is frequent. So it has a frequency. So every week you meet with your mentor one-on-one, trying to get you to where you need to be to the next stage to be competitive enough at the global finals.
Yeah.
So you are being prepared for this competition. Okay. Then when it comes time to leave, of course, there is a visa
right.
that you have to apply for. All of that is covered. The costs are fully covered for that. So whoever the winner is from St. Lucia, whoever the winner is from Trinidad, from the different islands that applies, as long as you're part of the top 100, your costs are covered and you are flown to Saudi Arabia. And then you start doing your pitches. Of course, aside from the cultural stuff and
main stage, big stage.
The pitches. Now it's in the form of knockouts.
Right.
So you're grouped together, all the idea stage group together, all the early stage group together, the growth stage group together, and you're pitching to knock each other out. It's kind of like a get in the ring type of situation.
Right.
So you will know what getting the ring is. It's pitching against your component to knock them out of the next round.
So similar to World Cup.
Yes. Yeah. So you're pitching to move to the next round to get closer and closer and closer to the top 5. That's what you're going to battle it out to the top 5. And when you get to the top 5, of course, that's where the bigger money is. Because it's over $1 million in prizes, guys.
Wow.
In cash, not in Canada. Over $1 million in prizes in cash that is afforded or awarded to the winners. Now, I want to go into, of course, the link, because persons want to know, how do they apply? Now, for those of you who are watching online from St. Lucia, I'm going to give you what that link is. I'm going to be posting that link into, so it's EWC St. Lucia.wordpress.com. EWCSTLUCIA.wordpress.com/apply. So that is the link to register for EWC. That is for locals. Others, you can go to EWC. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. The global link is a bit different. So let me give you that. The global link is different. Okay, so let's go. So we want to make sure that everybody applies. Oh, and one other thing that I want to mention as I'm going into the application link is that um, the pitch decks of the previous winners, as in the global winners,
Right.
are actually provided and shared to you as a template. So if you want to know what a winning pitch deck looks like, they provide it to you. Hey, this
Yeah,
company
so just
won
just
there.
model your pitch deck after
Yeah.
the winning teams.
So you actually get assistance in if you want to. I mean, I don't know how to put a deck together. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. You are provided with a template of what a winning pitch deck looks like.
Fine.
So if you were looking for something, that's where it is. But that's not all it takes, you guys. It's presence, it's articulation, it's your storytelling skills. It's being able to be confident about what you say and how you say it. And also, it's about showing how you are solving the problem in a way that nobody else is doing it and doing it well. Yeah. And showing if there is room for you to grow. Because that's what people want to invest in, that you are able to grow and sustain. Okay. So that is what we want to share with you. Okay. So genglobal.org /EWC. Okay, GENGLOBAL.org That is how you get access to the global registration link. That's for everybody else who is outside of St. Lucia and you want to just apply directly onto the website. You can go here. For our locals here, you apply EWC St. Lucia, that is ST St. Lucia wordpress.com/apply in order for you to apply for this competition. And the competition, the applications close in March of 2024. So you have until then to submit your applications. Guys, of course, if you want to get more information about EWC St. Lucia, you can always reach out to me. You can use the email sludtera@gmail.com so that you can get more information, or you can visit us on Facebook so that you can get some more information about EWC. And here as well, we also help prepare our finalists to participate in the global finals. As I stated in the past, we've had Martin Hanna, we've worked with Gillen Avril, and also Kissia Peter. We've worked with all three of them to prepare them for the global finals. It was unfortunate, however, that Kissia did not get to participate. Why? Because of her full email. So guys, do you know what that means? You cannot.
Why didn't she get to participate?
Her full email. The email that they would have sent her that you got selected as the top, it bounced.
It's like you're given an opportunity and they just pull it back. Yeah.
So guys, always
my
check
God.
your email. If your email is full, clear it out.
Clear it out.
Participate in something like this and just totally. I mean, Martin said he forgot about it because time had passed. But luckily, he went back to his email and he saw it that he won. So if you apply for this, I'm asking you to make sure that you keep checking your email for these notifications so that you know where you stand. Of course, we will be making the official announcement as to who the winner is. We've had events in the past where we've publicly recognized our winners and we've awarded them with prizes locally. But what you need to prepare for is the networking, because that's the value that you get. Outside of the monies that you're competing for, you're getting to network with people that are so far advanced than you that you can learn from them. And the eerie thing is that they are so willing to share for free. You don't get that in St. Lucia. I don't know how it is for you in Trinidad, Jayme. Because
networking is so
really
powerful.
Free to just give information out for free like that, and that's how it is in EWC. So
and it's like you're becoming a part of an alumni of a bigger, organization. So not only you're meeting persons within that year you're attending, but you're part of this bigger network that, as Michelle said, in networking is great, and that information to take you personally and your business as well to the next level. So yeah, take advantage of it. I'll definitely be taking advantage of it.
I'm putting you on the spot, and people who know me will say, yeah, she tends to do that a lot. As a fellow liar, I'm really putting you on the spot now.
Oh
As
my,
a fellow liar, can I rely on you to spread the word about EWC in Trinidad and utilizing SmartTerm as the catalyst behind spreading the word about EWC? As to how that translates, I don't know. I'm just
definitely it's a done deal, because I believe in sharing. I believe that if you get something of value and it can benefit not only yourself but a wider community, why hoard it? Why keep it to yourself? So I will definitely be sharing and posting this so that other entrepreneurs in Trinidad, whoever sees it, can be a part of this community.
I really do appreciate that, Jayme, very, very much. I do appreciate that. And something that I definitely want to share that's very unique about EWC, again, not just the fact that it's open to anybody, right? Not just the fact that any stage, not just that. And now it's open to organizations, NGOs, and social enterprises, not just that. But there's also a component for women-led businesses too. My goodness, they are getting on board with stuff. They are adding things and making it more and more attractive each year.
Right.
But knowing that when you get access to this vital information, it will guarantee to benefit your business if you look at the types of books that you're going to get. And we're talking about tools and applications that you need to use for your business anyway. We talk about Google, Amazon, different sites that you need for your business anyway. But because you applied through EWC, you get free access to these things.
Yeah.
Valuable things that you need for your business. So if there was ever a reason that you need to apply for EWC, now is another time. Now is the time for you to apply. Apply for EWC, whether you're in idea stage, early stage, growth stage. Apply. You never know what can happen. Martin didn't expect to go there and be knocked out the first round that he went to, but he used that opportunity to network and to learn from people that are doing much bigger things than he is, and that helped him to pivot his business to where it is now. And now Martin is speaking at international conferences all over the place, and he is advancing and progressing his business in a matter of 6 years, guys.
Wow.
And he is under 30. Yeah. So you can do it.
What I love about competitions and programs like these is that they give you information in a chronological order, in a process. So there's no room for failure, really. There's only room for growth, for development, and for learning, expanding your knowledge in a systematic way. People would say, well, there's information on YouTube, there's information all over, but it's the process and the system that they have it in that propels you even further. So yeah, it's an amazing, amazing opportunity for anyone who's an entrepreneur in this time right now. Amazing opportunity.
You are very much correct. And I am really very happy about, this competition. And it would none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for Wildlife. Now, guys, this is another reason why I have Jeannie on, because Jayme is moving mountains herself, you know, and all the things that she's doing.
Oh
Remember,
my.
I said she's a serial entrepreneur. Right? That, right? SmartTerm is just a snippet of what Jayme does. A snippet. Jayme is doing something that I envy so much.
No, oh my God.
Traveling. Oh my God. I love traveling. And every single time I see an update from Jayme, she's in a different country. I'm like,
Oh
are you
my.
serious? Another one? Like, I need
Yeah, that it's a part of me. I
to
love to
go.
travel, and the thing is about it, I created a page on Instagram, Hello Beautiful World, that really shares, different strategies and tips how to travel on a budget, how to pack, different countries to visit, safe countries, how to be safe and prepared. So it really gives me that opportunity to, bring my audience along for the journey as well.
But I'm so serious, Jayme. I'm speaking for myself here.
Yes.
But I want to understand what can I do to change. I really want to do these things. So tell me, what do I have to do to be able to
So
travel like you do? Tell me,
true
tell
be
us.
true be told, Michelle, early on when I had my very first travel experience to Barbados, it was a mind-blowing experience. First time boarding a plane, first time going to this new country, something unknown, and I learned a lot. And I told myself there and then, I think that was in 2010, I told myself there and then, I want to be able to travel the world. Why do I have to stay in my own country? And there's so many other cultures, so many other foods, so many other experiences to be had. So I told myself, I love traveling, I want traveling, and I want opportunities to do so. And what I've done really is traveling through education. So very much so, these similar programs like Entrepreneurship World Cup are my free ticket to travel the world. So in as much as I'm learning, I'm developing personally, my business would be developed as well through all of these workshops and programs. I get to love to do what I love, which is travel.
Wow, wow, wow. I mean, oh, I love travel myself. I really do. Um, People says it makes me glow.
Yes.
I mean, it changes your perspective on things when you
A
are
lot
exposed
of things.
to cultures and the way people do things in other countries,
Mm-hmm.
and also the processes. And let me say, and it may sound weird to people who know me, I
Yeah.
don't typically eat well. I don't really like food per se, but if
Right.
I travel, I will eat. I will eat when I travel because I want to
Yes.
try new things. I want to see what that
Mm-hmm.
tastes like, what that experience
Yes.
is like. And it really does make me feel like, I'm living the great life, right?
Exactly.
And I'm so
Exactly.
thankful to God for this. I really and truly am so thankful to God because He is the one that's making it possible. God is the
Mm-hmm.
one making it possible. I decided that I want to do this. I've taken on a really big mantle that I've been
Right.
carrying for over 6 years of, connecting, sourcing, connecting, and empowering. I've taken on that
Mm-hmm.
mantle and I love, 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 love what I do. I love it so much that I did it for free. That's how much I love
Right.
it, right?
Yeah.
And I love seeing other people, you know, get the joy of saying,
Yeah.
I got it, or I did
Mm-hmm.
it, or it happened. I love that. I
Yeah.
celebrate with them. So that's why, GEW is all about us.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about us celebrating what we do, what we have been doing, what we plan
Yeah.
to do. If there was ever a time that entrepreneurs need to be really put on the map and really acknowledged for what they do, this week is it.
Yeah.
This
This is
week
their
is
week.
it. As far as I'm concerned, the our local governments should be
Mm-hmm.
moving mountains to celebrate us in ways that
Yeah.
make us feel valued,
Exactly.
because we're making a contribution to that economy. We are, as entrepreneurs, we are, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So um I don't know how it is in Trinidad, but maybe you can, shed some light on what entrepreneurship or how it is regarded in Trinidad. But can you share what that is like?
For Trinidad, the ecosystem is definitely being built in Trinidad. And I know different entities, the US Embassy, Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs, they are all trying their very best to support local entrepreneurs. So the community is building and it's thriving at the same time. You have persons like Shamion, you would have known Shamion as well, Shamion Williams, who is leading the Entrepreneurship Hub in Trinidad and Tobago. So as again, that too is being developed, and we're encouraging all entrepreneurs in Trinidad to tap into it because there's so much resources, there's so much knowledge to be gained from the Entrepreneurship Hub in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow, Entrepreneurship Hub. And are you of the belief, Jayme, that Wildlife really catalyze things for us? Are you of that belief? Because that's kind of what I say to people. If it wasn't for Wildlife, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, because that was the first travel opportunity with business-minded people that really helped me put things into perspective of what I need to do with my life. It really did help to do that for me.
Yeah. I think if I hadn't gone to Wildlife, I still would have been passionate about creating change and developing the education system. However, as you mentioned, rightfully so, Wildlife really put things into perspective. So it's no longer about just looking at education and supporting that, but I really want to support women. I want to support youth. I want to help develop that ecosystem of entrepreneurs and provide resources, materials, and just different things so that they too can walk on this particular journey, because so many of us have ideas, and so many of those ideas are buried with us. So why not untap that and bring it to fruition, bring it to the forefront, because I'm sure some one of you, even right now looking at this particular stream, have an idea that can change the lives of so many. So, while I really put things into perspective to me, for me, and, just that ability to share knowledge and to help others, I really, really appreciated that.
Yes, I do as well. So thank you so much again to the U.S. Department of State for funding such an initiative. There are other initiatives that they do provide us access to us here in the region. So I highly recommend that you find out what they are and try to see what you can be a part of. There is something that, of course, we can share with you that you can join, and it's free to join. It's the Wildlife Network. So if you're looking to learn, to grow, to connect, join the Wildlife Network, wildlife.state.gov. Go to this site and see what is there for you. See what you can learn, because this is where we started, and we were able to really propel ourselves, to this point. I started from very humble beginnings. I started from hustling, literally selling in the boulevard at the roadside with a table and a chair, and my two kids seated on a cardboard box on the sidewalk. That's where I started, guys.
Amazing story.
6 years ago. That's where I started. And I said, there's more that can be done. There are opportunities out there, and I just need to find them. And there are so many people that were saying, there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there. And I'm like, no, there is. There just has to be.
There is so.
Wildlife really opened the door for me. It really It really did.
There's so many opportunities, as you say, Michelle. It's just about putting yourself in the right spaces, connecting with the right people, doing your own research, and you can start very much so by looking at what your own country, your government has to offer, and then, look at other regional organizations, embassies that operate within your country, and see what opportunities, they have for youths and, for women and men as well.
Yes, agreed. So guys, you heard it from us. We are fellow wildliers, young leaders of the America's Initiative, Wildlife Professional Fellows. That's our official title. Yes, we've actually earned that title. We have the
Right.
certificate to prove it. We've earned that title. And aside from that, we're also recipients of grants that we have benefited from the U.S. Department of State to fund our initiatives and our projects. And we're very, very grateful, to the U.S. Embassy for, partnering with us and providing us that type of support that we need.
Yeah.
And now locally, we're getting support from Youth Economy Agency, from SLDB. We're getting support from the Taiwan Embassy, who is supporting women entrepreneurs and funding a lot of programs here in St. Lucia. We are getting support from various agencies and organizations. But what we need to do is to understand, we need to be focused, because right now, the money is coming, but if you're not disciplined,
you have to be.
if you're not disciplined, guys, you need to have a plan and have a mentor, guys. That mentor will keep you on your toes and you stay on the path, that you don't go, haywire, because it's easy to get distracted. SLUDTERA is here to help you guys. We are here to provide you that type of support that you need, business development support. We provide this. We've been doing this for years. We've empowered hundreds and hundreds of St. Lucians for years, and I love what I do.
Just yesterday, I was telling Michelle how I'm so proud of the work that she does in St. Lucia, because since I've known Michelle, she has been hitting the ground running. She has been connecting with women, connecting with entrepreneurs in St. Lucia, and it's like she has so much energy, the work never stops, and she keeps going and supporting and helping. So definitely you'd want to connect with Michelle, if you're thinking about starting your entrepreneurship journey, bringing your ideas out. Michelle is definitely the person to connect with.
I appreciate you giving me that plug there, Jayme. And again, guys, remember SmartTerm. Remember SmartTerm. Yeah. So if you're looking for an education management platform system to use for your school, for US students and teachers, if you want to just try it out, if you want to just find out what it is about, you can connect with Jayme. Jayme, can you please share your contact information?
Definitely. So our SmartTerm website is www.smartterm.io. You can also find us on all social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as LinkedIn at SmartTerm Limited. If you want to contact me directly, my email is jhoyte@smartterm.io.
Okay, I would like you to also share with persons if you're on any social media channels where they can find you.
Yes, so you can definitely find me on all the channels, LinkedIn, Instagram, as well as on Facebook as Jayme S. Hoyte. Yeah, on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay, and Hoyte is spelled?
Hoyte.
All right, we have to make sure we get that spelling right, because I did an error myself when trying to spell your name, so I want to get that out there. Okay, guys, so again, this has been Road to Riyadh. Now, when we say road, it means we're just kicking the ground running. We're just starting from today. There's other stuff that's going to be happening to get you ready for next year on the global stage in our competition. I want to see who's going to represent us next year. I want to see, and I want to go with you. I want you to come with me, There are travel opportunities every year that happens, and I want you to be part of it. I want you to be part of it. Parents, if you know that your child has a passion about something, that's good at creating something and innovating something, give them support. Trust me, they need it. Give them that support so that they can see how well you can bloom. You might just be supporting the next best thing. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you never know. I'm telling you. So Jayme, again, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, for sharing SmartTerm, for sharing your story, your journey, and also for helping me launch EWC here in St. Lucia, and for agreeing to carry that torch over to Trinidad and light that flame. So again, I am looking forward to connecting with you again very soon. But for now, I want to say good afternoon and goodbye to you guys. Thank you so much, Jayme, for being with me right there. And guys, I want to just say that, you know, EWC is an opportunity that is open to everyone, right? If you have something that you are doing that's meaningful, that is impacting someone, whether it's impacting one life or many lives, a product, a service, an organization, an NGO, if you're doing something that is changing the lives of people, and if you're doing something that is innovative, that could be a new invention, I advise you to apply to Entrepreneurship World Cup. This is your opportunity to get training, mentorship, access to tools and resources, and it's all free. And plus, you get, again, just for applying, 10,000 US dollars worth of perks that you can use for your business. Who else offers that? Nowhere else offers this, guys. And you're getting this through us and through this competition. So again, thank you all for joining this afternoon. I really pray that you have the wonderful rest of your day. Entrepreneurs out there, keep looking at the other events that are happening throughout this week. There are other events coming up. There's events happening on Friday at Harbor Club. There's a showcase happening. So I'm hoping that if you can, please go over to Harbor Club and see what these entrepreneurs are showcasing, their products and services. Support each other, support them. Go there to buy, not just to look, and make sure that you connect with them. On Saturday, just to remind you that we're having Entrepreneurship Fail Forward Night at Safi Estate, that's in Labrie, taking place at Melly's Mix It Up. Admission is only 10 EC dollars, and you're coming to, again, connect with like-minded people and to talk about your failures. That's something people don't like to talk about, but this is the moment for you to share that so that you can form a support group around each other. Okay? So again, 6:30 p.m. Saturday night, Entrepreneurship Fail Forward. This is our last GEW event for the week, and we hope to see you there. So guys, thank you again and enjoy your day. Bye.
Have a good evening, everyone. Bye.